Okay, so for today's deep dive, what really jumped out at me preparing for this was this incredible mix. You've got an American frontier setting, pretty familiar, right?
Right.
But then there's this hidden layer woven in, magic, but not just spells, more like these deep innate abilities. They call them knacks.
Exactly. Really core
And
abilities.
today we're looking at sources that really focus on two quite remarkable people, this young guy, Alvin, and a woman named Peggy.
Hmm.
And these stories, they give us such a unique way to look at big themes, power, freedom, identity, even things like creation and destruction.
Yeah.
Our job really is to pull out the key stuff, give you a shortcut into this world that's, well, it's familiar, but also really strange. So, starting off, what's the first thing that grabs you about these stories?
Well, what's fascinating, I think, is how these narratives, even though they're fantastical, they really shine a light on basic human struggles, like
Mm.
the fight for freedom, finding your purpose, and the ethical questions that pop up when people have, immense power. These sources, they just present these abilities, these challenges, almost like facts.
Yeah, just straight up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we can explore the deeper stuff, the why and the what if,
Yeah.
without getting bogged down in how the magic works. It's more about the consequences.
Yeah.
We see personal choices hitting up against these like grand destinies and how even small actions can ripple out, have these huge effects down the line.
Indeed. And our journey kicks off in a pretty dark spot, Appalachia, 1811.
Yeah, this is interesting timing. It's before Appalachia actually joined the U.S., before the Fugitive Slave Treaty applied there.
And the source describes it really starkly, a place where basically every white man aspired to own a passel of black slaves.
If blunt.
And what the sources lay out is chilling. Slavery itself is described as a kind of alchemy.
Mm-hmm. Transforming suffering into wealth.
Yeah, turning each bead of a black man's sweat into gold and each moan of despair from a black woman's throat into the sweet, clear sound of a silver coin.
It's a powerful, horrible image. And into that world, we meet Cavil Planter.
Right. Initially seems like a righteous guy, maybe.
That's the perception. But his wife, Dolores, she's suffering terribly from some illness.
Ah,
Constant pain, distress.
okay.
And her whimpering, it just wears Cavil down. He's in despair, totally isolated from her. He actually ends up sleeping in a different room, cut off.
And it's in that state, that isolation and distress, that things start to, well, twist inside him.
Yeah, the sources really detail this. He starts having these lustful thoughts about the enslaved women he owns, especially a new young woman.
And he tries to frame it religiously.
He does. Twists it completely. Wonders if God is guiding him, like Abraham in the Bible. It's this internal battle, prayer versus what the source calls evil imaginings. And those imaginings get pretty graphic, pretty perverse.
Dumb stuff.
Yeah. And this whole internal conflict kind of leads to something external appearing.
The overseer.
Exactly. This figure appears, Cavil calls him the overseer. And right away, this entity says, "Don't call me Lord Jesus."
Oh, wow. Explicit.
Very. And says he offers most secret teachings, a gospel unknown to priest or minister. Claims Cavil isn't totally his yet, but that he's already been teaching him,
Suggesting he's been influencing Cavil's thoughts all along.
pretty much, tapping into that darkness.
And from that night, the change is drastic.
Horrific, really. He starts systematically abusing the enslaved women, believes he's showing the strength and mastery he saw in the overseer,
And he renames the first one.
Hagar, right? Directly referencing the Abraham story again. He loses all pity. Sees them just as property, like land to be plowed and planted, not left fallow
Just dehumanizing language.
completely.
Yeah.
And his wife, Dolores, she notices, sees something darker in his face, a rage, maybe cruelty. It scares her.
But he calls it mastery.
He redefines it, yeah. What the sources show us with Cavil, it's not just one man's fall. It's how power, individual and societal, can get so deeply corrupted. This alchemy of oppression, it's terrifying how self-serving beliefs mixed with power can justify the absolute worst.
Makes horrific acts seem to him divinely okayed.
Exactly. And this isn't just in isolation. Later, he meets this preacher, Reverend Philadelphia Thrower.
Oh, another influence.
Yeah, and Thrower apparently has similar visions, similar beliefs. It just reinforces Cavil's path, this idea of spreading the chosen seed through his children with enslaved women, like Abraham.
So it becomes this whole distorted mission for him.
Years later, he's still obsessed with finding that first woman, Hagar, and their child, Ishmael, driven by this totally warped view. It just shows the danger when power and these twisted belief systems get tangled up.
Okay, so from that darkness, that perversion of power in Appalachia, the sources shift focus.
Right, to Peggy.
And her power, her knack, is foresight. But it's presented as this immense burden, not just a gift. Her story is more about identity, freedom, maybe freedom from her gift, in a way.
Yeah, she's known as the strongest torch she'd ever heard of.
Which means?
She can see heart fires, like people's inner truths, their core selves, and not just that, but the paths of his future.
Wow, all the time.
That's the thing. She can't turn it off. The source says she's always on watch, like someone in a lookout perch on a ship. Can't shut them, not even in sleep.
That sounds exhausting, overwhelming.
Totally. And it isolates her profoundly. Imagine knowing everyone's secret dreams or private craziness and, maybe worse, seeing dangerous futures ahead for them.
You couldn't talk normally to anyone.
Exactly. Can't connect genuinely. She's trapped, alone atop the mast, seeing more than she ever wanted to.
And this is especially tough regarding Alvin, right?
Oh, yeah. She sees specific things about him. His future greatness, building this thing called the Crystal City, even having kids with her. But she also sees a future life of misery together. Sees his eyes eventually hunger for other women.
Oh, that's rough. Knowing that beforehand.
She literally wishes she didn't know for certain things would be that way. It's the pain of inescapable knowledge.
So how does she cope? Does she try to change things?
Well, she seeks a kind of freedom. Finds this woman, Mistress Modesty, who helps her learn to not know.
To not know?
Yeah.
How does that work?
It's not about losing the knack.
Yeah.
It's like training herself not to look into the heart fires all the time. A deliberate choice to ignore the constant stream of information.
So she can interact normally.
Yeah, take people at face value. Find a kind of freedom she had never known before. It's a huge internal struggle, redefining her relationship with her own power.
And this leads to a new identity.
Right, Miss Lerner. She creates this whole persona. Cold, severe, older-looking, unsmiling, a deliberate spinster.
And she uses magic for this.
Small magic, hexes, yeah. To change how light hits her, make her look different. But the source makes an interesting point.
What's that?
It says this beseeming isn't really a lie. It's a way to keep a secret about who she used to be. It reflects this new, educated, maybe more detached version of herself. A chosen mask, but one that reveals something true about her evolution.
Interesting distinction.
And despite wanting freedom from Alvin's path, the one she foresaw,
She comes back.
she comes back to Hadrack River as Miss Larner, takes a job as schoolmistress.
Why? If she knows the potential misery.
Deeper purpose. She wants to help Alvin achieve his destiny, his labor that means more than any one of us.
So it's bigger than her personal feelings.
Seems so.
Yeah.
She actually says she loves his work more than the man, willing to sacrifice her own idea of a perfect life, a perfect woman, for his grand project. It's very self-aware, almost strategic.
Okay, so Peggy's in place, disguised as Miss Larner. Let's bring Alvin into the picture in Hadrack River.
Right. Young Alvin arrives. He's only 11.
And the source mentions he lost half his name.
Yeah, he was Alvin Jr. Miller back home. Just Alvin now. And his journey there says a lot about him.
How so?
Hundreds of miles on foot. Sees real poverty for the first time. Gives away his own boots, his supplies, to people worse off.
Already showing his character.
Definitely. And he navigates using this thing called Green Song. Green Song. It's like an intuitive connection to the land. Lets him find his way even in trackless woods. A natural compass, almost. When he gets to Hadrack River, this more civilized place, that's when he really notices the gap between rich and poor. Hits him hard.
And arriving at the roadhouse, he recognizes someone.
Yeah, old Peggy Guester. He knows her from a childhood vision, this crystal tower vision he had. Very prophetic.
Connected to his destiny?
Seems so. And he's looking for the torch girl from that same vision. He thinks it's Peggy.
Does old Peg help him?
She's initially a bit cold. Says Peggy don't torch no more and ain't here. Trying to put him off, maybe protect Peggy. But the connection is there.
And we meet Arthur Stewart here, too.
Yes, pivotal character. The young black boy old Peg has fiercely adopted.
She calls him my baby.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Challenges all the prejudice around her. Raises his white half, she says. Names him Arthur Stewart. This devotion sets up major conflict later about his schooling. Really highlights the racism of the time.
So Alvin needs work. He gets prenticed.
To make Peace Smith, the town blacksmith. And he's not a nice guy.
How so?
Mean-spirited. Always accusing Alvin you were late because of the war, captured by the Choctaw. Just constant criticism, abuse, really.
Even though Alvin's good at it?
Apparently very skilled.
Huh.
But Makepeace won't praise him, not until he starts suspecting Alvin's using hidden knackery.
So it's prejudice again. can't accept talent if it doesn't fit his worldview.
Exactly. And while Alvin's dealing with Makepeace, he's also got this internal battle going on.
The Unmaker.
Right. This isn't just a bad feeling. It's described as a literal force of anti-creation, a vast nothingness trying to crush him, get inside him, undo everything.
He saw it as a kid.
In nightmares, yeah.
Yeah.
Tailswapper, another character, helped him name it. Alvin learned the only way to fight it off is by building something, making things, using his hands.
The opposite of unmaking.
Precisely. And he senses it around other people sometimes, like Hank Dowser, the water finder. Suggests it's always lurking.
Okay, so the stage is set. Alvin's there, Peggy's there in disguise, Arthur Stewart is there, and the conflict really flares up around Arthur's schooling.
It really does. Old Peg is absolutely determined to get Arthur into the new school. She even offers the roadhouse, Horace's place, for the teacher to live in free.
But there's pushback.
Big time. Sheriff Polly Wiseman is just overtly racist. Tells her flat out, there isn't a drop of your blood in that boy, so he's no wise your son.
Horrible.
Yeah. And Dr. Physiker, he's more politically minded, maybe. He worries the backwoods people won't send their kids if a black child attends. Shows how deep the prejudice runs, even in supposedly forward-thinking plans.
And this whole situation reveals something about Peggy's family, too.
It does. Peggy's torch ability lets her see her father Horace's secret sin.
Which is?
An affair years ago, which apparently fuels his desire now to help runaway slaves as a way to atone. Adds this whole layer of complexity to him.
So his motives aren't simple.
Not at all. And Peggy knows this, but can't say anything, just carries that knowledge. It makes her realize her parents, despite living together for years, didn't know each other at all. So many hidden lives.
Wow. And Arthur Stewart himself. He has a knack.
A special one, yeah. Mimicry. He can repeat things perfectly, whole sentences, in other people's voices.
Like a mockingbird.
Miss Larner, Peggy points out it's different. She says he's not just mimicking sounds. He truly knows the word. There's understanding there, not just repetition. He internalizes it.
Interesting. Okay, so Alvin meets Miss Larner. How does that happen?
Down at the riverport, he sees these river rats hassling her, making crude, disgusting remarks.
Then Alvin steps in.
Yeah, plays the gentleman, which leads to a fight with this legendary riverman, Mike Fink.
Nice Fink. Heard of him.
Big reputation. And Fink has this magical protection, a hex dye embedded deep in his skin, on his backside apparently. Makes him nearly impossible to hurt.
The Alvin,
using his own knack, somehow manages to unmake the hex. Disrupts it. The dye flows into Fink's blood.
What happens?
It cripples Fink permanently. Shows the serious power Alvin wields, even if he doesn't fully understand it yet. And the potential danger.
That's intense. And after this, there's an awkward moment.
Yeah, Dr. Physiker tries to pay Alvin $1 for helping Miss Larner.
Oh, like he's hired help.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Alvin feels totally humiliated. He saw it as just, a service due a lady from any Christian gentleman. Treats him like a servant or a kid.
Does Miss Larner realize?
She does. Later apologizes for Physiker being tactless, makes it clear she didn't approve. It just highlights that social gap again between Alvin's world and hers.
So Miss Larner agrees to teach. What are her conditions?
Pretty strict. Wants private lodging, solitude, no living in the main roadhouse.
Okay.
And for teaching Alvin, no private lessons. Propriety, she says. Arthur Stewart has to be there too.
So Alvin agrees.
Eagerly. Pays her 2 weeks up front. They set up in the old spring house. That becomes Alvin's schoolhouse, as he thinks of it.
In her teaching. It's unusual.
Very. Especially when she gets into the nature of things, like atoms. She tells Alvin the real principles are forever invisible, only found in the imagination.
Pushing him to think differently.
Exactly. And it leads to this massive breakthrough for Alvin. He starts to grasp atoms, not as tiny balls, but as having no size at all, yet being a place, having mind and the power to move.
Whoa.
Yeah. He connects it to how everything's mostly empty, but also that everything is alive, made of these living atoms. It's huge for him as a maker, understanding the fundamental stuff of existence.
Okay, so things are progressing, Alvin's learning, but the situation with Arthur is still hanging there.
And it comes to a head. The finders arrive.
The finders, what are they?
People with a specific knack for finding runaway slaves. They use cachet hair, nail clippings from when Arthur was a baby.
Not to track him like a bloodhound, but...
to recognize him.
Sure.
Like a unique magical fingerprint.
Got it. And the sheriff.
Wiseman acts fast. Doesn't want a local trial or controversy. Hands Arthur straight over to federal marshals under the Fugitive Slave Treaty. Done deal, he thinks.
But old Peg.
defiant to the end, chooses to be jailed with Arthur. Incredible act of love and resistance.
So Arthur's captured. What does Alvin do?
He's desperate. Thinks they need a real solution, not some stupid blunder. And then he remembers something crucial about being a maker. What's that?
The maker is the one who is part of what he makes.
Okay.
So in this desperate moment, he grabs Arthur, holds him breast to breast, and uses his knack to show every single atom in Arthur's body a new pattern, a new signature.
He changes his racial signature. Magically.
Effectively, yes. All at once, all in an instant. Makes him unrecognizable to the finder's magic. Anything not connected to that new pattern is just washed away and gone.
Wow. That's fundamental making. Redefining identity itself.
So the finders...
Totally confused. They have Arthur right there in the spring house with Alvin, but their cachet doesn't register him. They sense 2 heart fires burning. But neither one was like what they had. They have to assume he's not there and leave to search elsewhere.
Alvin's gamble worked, but it's not over.
No. Tragedy strikes fast. Back at the roadhouse, there's a confrontation. Old Peg fights back, thinks she's killed one finder, but the other one kills her. Peggy, in the spring house, feels it instantly, this flash of searing agony. Alvin hurt himself from an earlier accident digging a well, runs to her side, but too late.
Devastating loss for both of them.
Huge. And Alvin's reaction, it's raw.
What happens?
He just explodes. Grief, fury. He attacks the remaining finder, the black-haired one, is brutal. Snaps his neck, then just keeps hitting his head until, well, the source says his skull was broke up inside his head like shards of dropped pottery. Alvin's covered in blood.
That's not like him usually.
Not at all. Shows the depth of his rage and pain. A really dark moment, even in defense or retribution.
And the consequence of all this violence, this display of power.
Makepeace Smith sees some of it or senses it. Terrified. Thinks maybe Alvin made the plow move earlier. Wonders if he's the devil.
So he finally lets Alvin go.
Yep. Gives him his journeyman papers. Basically kicks him out. Wants nothing more to do with him. So Alvin is free. A journeyman blacksmith, and now, clearly, a journeyman maker.
So he's free, but old Peg is gone. What does he do next?
First, he cleans up the roadhouse. Cleans the blood. A practical caring act for Horace and Peggy. Then he takes Arthur Stewart away, back to his own family in Vigor Church, for safety. Tells Peggy he plans to go on.
Does he say goodbye?
Yeah, it's poignant. He tells her he owes her all that I am, says he still loves her, but she just shakes her head.
Meaning no. Or it's complicated.
Probably complicated.
It's her commitment to his work, maybe their paths diverging. He leaves, just holding on to the memory of her hand, holding his, wondering what it meant. Bittersweet.
A lot happens. And while Alvin is finding his path, what about Cavell Planter? His story wraps up too.
It does, and it's grim. A stark contrast. His wife, Dolores, reveals she actually knew about his holy work, his affairs.
She knew.
And apparently even invited Reverend Thoreau to do the same with her, seeking some twisted holiness herself. It's all incredibly messed up.
And Cavell, he kills her, murders Dolores, then makes a deal, signs away all his property to avoid a murder trial. His final thought is, the overseer hates me. A complete, self-inflicted ruin tied back to that initial dark influence.
Wow. So Alvin chooses creation, Cavell chooses destruction, and ends in ruin. What happens with Alvin back in Vigor Church?
He's changed, quieter. But then he discovers something important. His younger brother, Callie, who goes by Cal, now he has a knack too, sensing the ground, shaping it.
Another potential maker.
Exactly. And Alvin has this epiphany. His real purpose isn't just being a maker, it's to teach somebody else to be a maker.
Ah, mentorship. Passing it on.
Right. He starts explaining atoms to Cal, how to teach them how to be. Another brother, Measure, wants in too, wants to help build the Crystal City, promises solemnly to only use the knowledge for that purpose. It's the start of something collective.
So the Crystal City isn't just a building.
That's what Alvin realizes. It isn't a thing that a single maker can make. It's a city of makers. He needs to find people, different kinds of people, and somehow make makers out of them.
Like atoms forming a stable structure. People forming a community.
Precisely. A society built on shared purpose, shared understanding. A totally different kind of making than just shaping metal or stone.
And Peggy, what's her next step?
She goes back east to Duquesne, Philadelphia. Recommits to her own plan. Gaining knowledge, science, academics, probably with Mistress Modesty's help.
Aye.
Explicitly to heft the other end of his burden, to help Alvin with his work. She sees her future as supporting his project, not a conventional life for herself.
So she's embracing her role, but on her terms.
Yes. She has this belief that Some men are great enough that they can love a whole woman, not just a part. And by using her intellect, her gifts for his work, she believes she'll actually become even more beautiful. It's about integrating all parts of herself into this shared destiny, powerful self-acceptance.
So quite a journey we've tracked here. This whole tapestry of individuals, these powers, from Cavill's really disturbing alchemy of oppression to Alvin's realization that real making is about people, about building a community, a vision. What really stands out to you about how all these different knacks and lives interact?
Well, it really makes you ask, what happens when these extraordinary powers run up against existing social structures, especially deeply unjust ones like slavery?
Right.
You see the finders using their knack for control, for enforcing that system. You see Cavill twisting his visions to justify absolute horror. And then you see Alvin using his power to literally rewrite identity, to fight for freedom within that same system. It really hammers home that power itself, magical, social, whatever, it's neutral, isn't it?
It's all about the wielder.
Exactly. The intent, the character behind it.
Right.
That's what defines whether it builds or destroys.
And what a journey it's been seeing that play out from, like you said, Cavill's chilling depths to Peggy trying to find freedom by detaching, then re-engaging her gifts for a higher purpose. And Alvin's just incredible arc, apprentice blacksmith to someone who reshapes reality for justice. It does make you wonder, though. If the sources suggest the very fabric of reality, the atoms themselves, can be taught to want to be another way, what does that imply about our own lives, our ability to reshape things?
That's the big takeaway, isn't it? That idea that the atoms of a city are men and women. And that making isn't just brute force, it's subtler and stronger making things want to be another way.
It suggests true change needs more than just skill.
It needs shared vision, collective will. Whether you're building an object or, a more just society, it kind of invites you, the listener, to think, what crystal city are you building? Maybe without even realizing it. What kind of maker are you trying to be in your own world?
Yeah. How do our small, everyday actions fit into those bigger patterns? Are we building or maybe unmaking? Lots to think about there.
Definitely. A lot to chew on.